立法會主
The President. Members, please stand up while the Chief Executive enters the chamber.
Thank you.
行政長官。
Chief Executive, welcome to the meeting. The Chief Executive will first address the Council. President, members. Yesterday, I delivered my fourth policy address. The theme was deepening reforms for our people, leveraging our strengths for our brighter future. Deepening reforms are the means and the actions. Our people reflects our original intentions and our goal. Leveraging our strengths are the approach we use. A brighter future is our ultimate goal. This year is the conclusion year of the 14th five-year plan and the preparatory year of the 15th five-year plan. This policy address serves as a roadmap for Hong Kong to strive for a vibrant economy, pursue development, and improve people's lives, accelerating our advancement from stability to prosperity. It is also a strategic plan for Hong Kong to proactively align with national development strategies and achieve breakthroughs. Over the past 3 years, I have been actively working on reform and changes in order to build an able government. We pillar on economic development, aiming to improve people's lives. In different areas, we have seen results. That includes the implementation of one country, two systems, governance of the government, economic development, and livelihood issues. In the policy address last year, I have explained about the philosophy of reform and the goals. This year, in the policy address, I talk about deepening reforms. We want to further enhance governance. That's why I have put in place the Head of Department HOD accountability system. I have also strengthened the management system for civil servants. The HOD accountability system is to set in place a mechanism to make it more systematic and institutional when it comes to holding the parties responsible. This is conducive to enhancing efficiency of the team. At the same time, it better aligns the political accountability system with the executive accountability system. I will also set up an AI advocacy enhancement team. This promotes the application of AI in government departments. We're aware of risk prevention. Government systems and information systems will be subject to repeated tests. We will continue to vet and monitor the systems to ensure that they are secured and safe. We want to, in the meantime, promote the use of AI and promote its development. We want to promote e-government service and the use of AI in different industries and sectors. There are two pillars in the policy address: economy and people's lives. In terms of economy, we have chapters of expediting the development of the northern metropolis as well as industries reform to explain our planning strategies as well as actions in these areas. The northern metropolis is a new engine of our development. It has huge potential. With the work we've put in the past 3 years, the basic planning of the northern metropolis has taken shape. This is the time for us to accelerate development. It is the best time for us to attract anchoring industries and dovetailing the development of the different industries. I propose to set up a committee on development of the northern metropolis. I'll chair this committee. We will remove barriers and streamline procedures. We will adopt a new mindset to put in place the different operating modes of the northern metropolis. That includes the building of the university town and formulation of dedicated legislation. We will also introduce and nurture industries. We will put in place preferential policy packages. We will be flexible in our discussion with industries. When it comes to settlement details, we want to have quality enterprises there, and we want to improve people's lives. Hong Kong enjoys advantages in different areas. We have played a very important role in attracting overseas enterprises and helping enterprises to go global. In the past, our emphasis was on the former, but now we will shift our focus to the latter. This is as a result of the reshaping of global trade landscape, and that mainland enterprises do not only focus on a handful of markets. I have explained in my policy address as to how we will better align with national development. That includes attracting businesses, helping enterprises go global, and developing cooperation platforms. We will continue to deepen cooperation with mainland cities as well as the development of GBA. We will strengthen our position as an international financial center, logistics center, trade center, international aviation hub, international education hub, as well as international dispute resolution center. We will leverage on our advantages on professional services, logistics, finance, supply chain management. We will further promote headquarter economy so that there will be more business opportunities. We will also consolidate the development of a talent economy and technology. We will build ourselves into a cluster. We'll also coordinate development of culture, sports, and tourism so that people in Hong Kong will live in a vibrant society. Another pillar of the policy is improving people's lives. That is my ultimate goal. I want to give people better lives, better housing, better pay, better care for elderly people, and better future for our youths. The economy goes hand in hand with people's lives. Improving the economy forms a good basis for good lives. A good economy creates jobs and wealth. If people's lives are better, then in turn it will trigger further economic development. So these two go hand in hand. The last chapter of the policy address is dedicated to people's lives. It has the biggest coverage covering healthcare, housing, transportation, labor protection, healthcare, and support for carers and different groups. We will continue to increase housing supply. We will enrich the housing labor. We'll continue to farm land and increase our land reserve. We will also meet the long-term housing needs of people. We'll make use of smart and green mass transportation system, promotion of autonomous vehicles to improve transportation. We'll deepen reform in healthcare. We will improve the sustainability of our system. We will strengthen primary healthcare. We will increase manpower. We will promote the development of Chinese medicine and innovation. We have a combination of measures to support local economy that includes support to SMEs, support the development of a diversified economy, promote the development of agri and fish, promote a pet-friendly environment. We'll also launch support to protect labor. We will accord priority to local employees. We have a targeted approach to in poverty alleviation. We provide targeted assistance. In terms of elderly care, we will continue to advocate aging in place institutional care as support. We'll enhance residential care service. We will improve the arrangements of retirement in the GBA. In order to tackle the pressure from aging population, we will set up a working group on aging society. We will strengthen our support to ethnic minorities. To prepare for the policy address, myself and my team have visited different corners of society. We have held over 40 sessions of consultation sessions to collect different views. We have also taken on board valuable views expressed by members here. I thank every one of you in society who has given me your comments. I've also thanked members for your views expressed in the antechamber exchange sessions, in the interactive CNE interactive Q&A session, and various platforms. The policy address embodies the collective wisdom of Hong Kong. It sets out the strategic plan of the future of Hong Kong. I look forward to hearing the views of members on the policy address as well as their questions. Members have been informed that the speaking time limit for each member is 2 minutes. Members may put questions to the Chief Executive or express their views or both when they speak. Members who wish to speak, please press the Request to Speak button. Mr. Edward Leung. Thank you. We have been talking to people of Hong Kong and fellow members. We all have the impression that the CE is very receptive to views, whether they are expressed in district consultations or in this council. Many of these views have been incorporated into the policy address. I thank him for that. The most mentioned view is from the construction sector and the F&B sector. They suffer from an unemployment rate of 7%. It's a result, well, compared to the financial tsunami or the epidemic, the unemployment rate was lower than 7%. So you see the plight we're in. Will the Chief Executive consider a trigger system that when there is a certain percentage of unemployment of a specific sector, then the import scheme of labor will be suspended? It's very difficult to actually implement priority on local employees. When I talk to local workers, they are very concerned that when there is importation of a supplementary labor, then it will drive up unemployment rate. It seems that is the case. Cleaner is one sector that is suffering quite badly as a result. Will you consider this a trigger mechanism? Chief Executive, I thank Mr. Leung as well as his fellow members for their views. I have taken on board most of them. Priority on local employees is something that we will stand by. Back in 2023, when we put in place policies on importation of labor, we have taken into account a drop in our labor force, and that issue is still with us. There are micro issues, but at the same time we have to tackle macro issues as well. I ask members to have a rational discussion as to why there was this scheme in the first place. There was a peak in 2018. the labor force stood at 3.67 million. By the time when we formulated the importation scheme in 2023, there was a drop of labor force by 190,000 to 3.4 million. In 2025, it stands at 3.44 million people, so still a shortfall of 200,000. In addition, there is an aging population of our workforce. In 2023, the number of people under the age of 60, compared to the peak 2018, there is a drop of 300,000. So an aging labor force affects the overall labor supply. That's why when we formulated the scheme in 2023, we adopted a targeted manner on specific sectors, while according priority to local laborers. The mechanism works in this way. You have to make sure that you have to show that you can't employ local employees before you can import labor. We don't want their businesses to suffer, because if their businesses suffer, it will affect job opportunities of local people. So if there is a genuine need, we will allow them to import labor, but we strongly object to abuse. That's why this time I have started with two trades, two occupations, that is servers and junior cook. They account for about 50% of the amount of laborers. That's why we have chosen to handle these two jobs first. They have to show us that there is a genuine need. So we've extended the advertisement period from 4 weeks to 6 weeks, that is by 50%. And I also require local employment. We call the job seekers who have been rejected to check. We don't allow the ratio of 2 to 1 to be blended to other posts. Well, you can't just employ a local manager and then import as a server. We also combat against illegal workers because it is against the law. The Security Bureau will enhance their work. There is in place a report hotline. I agree with Mr. Leung. We should not be calcified, ignoring reality. That's why we have taken a dynamic approach, making changes as necessary. The Labor and Welfare Bureau will closely monitor the situation. We will gauge the situation after these measures have been put in place. F&B alone, looking at F&B alone, we see that there is a reshuffle. Some businesses are expanding. When it comes to the specific sectors, the overall consumption amount is similar between 24-25, but there is a sector, say for example, fast food. We see an increase in business at about 4%, and non-Chinese sector 2%. Chinese cuisine, yes, a drop by about 4%. It's a stage of reshuffling. Some businesses will suffer, whereas others are growing. The growing ones will need more manpower. They will have to first hire local laborers first. If a Chinese restaurant changes to a non-Chinese restaurant, there may be a change in venue, in operating location, and change in hiring of staff. There will be changes in the situation. That's why we need a dynamic approach. We accord priority to local laborers. We're not talking about cheap labor because we use the median income. At the same time, we will strongly combat any abuse of the system as well as illegal workers. We will dynamically monitor the situation. Thank you. Please allow me to answer on the construction sector. We have earmarked $30 billion for the coming 2 to 3 years. We are aware that there is a drop in number of projects in the private sector. We want to do more, so we increase it from 90 billion to 120 billion. We have earmarked $30 billion on smaller projects, say, for example, drainage systems, streets, etc. Apologies.
Mr. Chu Kwok-kang, thank you, President. I'm the chairman of the Hong Kong Federation of Education Workers. The teacher registration mechanism will be enhanced. There will also be updated requirements in relation to practicing certificates. Quite a number of frontline teachers told me when it comes to continuing professional education and pre-service training, there are strict requirements in addition to requirements in relation to ethics. In some media outlet reports, it is said that the administration wants to eradicate the situation in which teachers no longer teach in school after obtaining teacher qualifications. Some teachers no longer teach in schools after they have obtained qualifications. Will they be disqualified? So if they do want to teach in schools again, how can they obtain the qualifications once again? Chief Executive, my apologies to Mr. Chu once again. Thank you, Mr. Chu, for his questions. We listen to different views. I attach a lot of importance to the teaching profession. All of us are influenced significantly by our teachers. The teaching profession has a huge impact on society, and I believe teachers are professionals. Teachers are professional and compassionate workers in this field. When it comes to registration and practicing, there are different requirements. For instance, if you do not take up a frontline position, but you take up research and development and any back-end positions, then you're still taking part in this industry. We understand for teachers with teacher registration, not all of them take part in frontline teaching. I believe the Education Bureau will actively consider Mr. Chu's suggestions. There will be rational discussions to ensure the professional ethics of teachers are in line with public expectations. We are confident in this regard. We want the education profession to scale new heights. Thank you. Mr. Lam Chen Sing. Thank you, President. Thank you, Chief Executive. The jobless rate has gone up to 3.7%. In some sectors, the jobless rate even rose to 6 to 7%. In the past, we often heard that all of us could land a job very easily. But for someone in the middle age, it's not at all easy for one to land a job as a cook. That's why I need to recognize the measures in the policy address on safeguarding employment, combating illegal workers, and so on. There is a racial restriction when it comes to importing junior cooks and waiters and waitresses. For public works input, there is an increase of $30 billion as well. If the jobless rate further increases to 4%, in some sectors, probably even to 7% or 8%. What measures for safeguarding employment will the government put in place? Say for sectors with higher jobless rates, will there be a ceiling for imported workers? Will temporary positions be created? Will other retraining services be provided? Chief Executive, thank you, President. Thank you, Mr. Lam. Labor issues are close to the heart of many people. These are covered in the policy address. In relation to the labor situation, as I said just now, I accord priority to local workers. We will also combat illegal workers. We will actively and dynamically keep a close eye on the situation. The Labor and Welfare Bureau will monitor the situation, including different sectors. Any labor importation application will be rigorously approved. Sectors need to prove that they cannot take on sufficient workers. From 4 weeks, there's an extension to 6 weeks. We dynamically monitor the situation. These make up half of all of the jobs in Hong Kong. We will gauge the effectiveness on these measures. If the situation still doesn't meet our expectations, we will put in place new measures. We'll dynamically monitor the situation. Thank you. Mr. Dennis Leung. Thank you. The FTU responds to the policy address. We thank the Chief Executive for accepting a lot of our proposals. They have been taken aboard by the Chief Executive. Improving people's life is the ultimate goal of the current term government. Better housing, better income for workers, better care for elderlies, and better development for youngsters. These are in line with the expectations of the FTU. We look forward to creating better income environments, better jobs, so that everyone in society has a job and priority is given to local workers. We also need to promote high-quality economic recovery. I'd like to ask the Chief Executive how you will help workers who want to work, who want to have a job, to secure a job so that we can make the most of the local labor force. Chief Executive. Thank you, Mr. Dennis Leung. Chapter 4 of the policy address is about industry development and reform. And we are talking about high-end industries and those with a competitive edge. These have a positive impact on creating jobs as well as higher income. In the course of economic transformation, different sectors are involved, some are direct, some indirect. Say for the financial industry, for the trade industry, we can indeed identify a difference. In the teaching profession, some teachers find it easier to look for jobs. However, the situation is different in some other sectors. When it comes to the industry structure, we didn't put in place any reforms. For industries without a competitive edge, we will have to provide more assistance. That's why the 4th chapter of the policy address is all about industry development and reform. We promote the diversification of different industries, and we also attract capital to Hong Kong, which is exactly in line with the goal of Mr. Dennis Leung. As we mentioned in the policy address, there will be an aircraft dismantling center alongside the introduction of an aeronautical service company from Europe. There is none in Hong Kong at present. Even if there is a similar company, we buy aircraft parts from elsewhere and continue with the process in Hong Kong. However, with this new company, then we can train more talents and we can also reform the industrial chain. In other words, there will be synergy, not just one single company. That's exactly what I mean by high-value, high-quality industries. For pharmaceutical and medicine development, they drive a lot of investments, research and development, talent, and so on. All these are high-quality jobs. They have professional know-how. Some work in the production line, but these productions are very high-quality productions. Say for EV batteries, we recycle them and turn them into black mass. These may not be very high quality and high-end industries, but then the productivity is very high. The number of batteries to be recycled is on the rise, so the market is indeed profound or very large. We shouldn't just focus on the service industry. The industry structure has already changed. The service industry accounts for 25% of the local economic growth. However, it's subject to economic fluctuations. We need stable jobs to ensure the income of local laborers. This is what we want to achieve in the current policy address. We attach importance to high-quality development. This is in line with our national strategy. Input from AI, input from high-quality development, we're advancing towards higher quality. So the policy address isn't just about one single measure to increase jobs and to increase income. We adopt a package of measures in different realms to make this happen. After I took office, I established the Hong Kong Investment Corporation Limited. I'm not after a high return ratio, but I emphasize that it needs to render assistance to different industries. For example, for Oasis, 84 enterprises in total. Each of them brings about $500 to $600 million of investment. All these have brought to us a lot of high-quality jobs with higher income. The policy address is propelling society to move towards this direction. Some more direct, some more indirect, but the direction is the same. Thank you.
Dr. David Lam. Chief Executive, I thank you for the comprehensive policy address. You have emphasized on rehabilitative treatment. That is very important. We need the work of different sectors, say, for example, physiotherapy services from residential care homes. We also have a package of services covering these, the need. But there is a very important sector, say, for example, stroke, post-discharge. There will be a need for treatments covering speech, swallowing, and mobility. So different professions are involved, say, for example, speech therapist, physiotherapist. Of course, the goal is for the patient to recover the ability to take care of oneself instead of relying on others. At the beginning, the treatment will take place in hospitals, and then later it will be in the community. But currently, there is a lack of coordination. Is there any development to strengthen rehabilitative service coordination so that patients will be able to stand on their own 2 feet again? Chief Executive, thank you. Current rehabilitative centers are coordinated by the Social Welfare Department, but service providers is a cross-discipline team. As Dr. Lam said, a lot of centers have occupational therapists, speech therapists, physiotherapists. I visited these centers and saw the team. The role played by the healthcare sector in terms of rehabilitative care is important. Whether the services are provided or coordinated by the Labor and Welfare Bureau or the Health Bureau, I think that within the system there is a centralized provision of service which is efficient. Can we devote more resources? Of course, we will continue to work on that. Healthcare accounts for the second largest resource input of the government. In this regard, is $310 million a day, not a year or a month. So every day we devote $310 million on healthcare. Some goes to rehabilitative service. If we can, we will, of course, increase our capacity. We want to also make sure that resource utilization is more efficient. We consider improving the efficiency of certain areas, and consider ways to improve resource allocation on different areas. We'll listen to the views of the sector, including Dr. Lam. We welcome comments. Mr. Lam Sun-Keung, Chief Executive, I'm very happy with the policy address this year, especially the initiatives addressing the need of our sector. I've been asking for the government to pay attention to the development of the legal sector, to improve arbitration service, to enable the sector to better provide services and to help enterprises go global. For the first time, the policy address tasked the Secretary for Justice to promote legal services in Hong Kong and coordinated service from other sectors. This has changed the government's stance over the past 180 years. I strongly support the Chief Executive's initiatives to improve people's lives and to improve governance. I highly compliment the Chief Executive for setting up a system for HOD accountability system. I think this effectively improves governance and efficiency. There are also measures covering the economy as well as people's lives as well as reform. I support them as well. However, all reforms need the support of the law. The rule of law goes hand in hand with reform. You have to institutionalize legal support. I understand that the DOJ is very busy. The existing manpower may not be able to cope with the work. Will the Chief Executive consider outsourcing certain services, engaging outside lawyers to assist the government in implementing these reforms? Chief Executive, I thank Mr. Lam for his support on the policy address. In terms of promotion of legal services, Mr. Lam has given me a lot of valuable and constructive comments. Mr. Paul Lam, the Secretary for Justice, has stepped up his efforts to promote legal services in Hong Kong. Me and Mr. Lam came up with the initiatives in the policy address after a brainstorming session. In addition to arbitration, we also work on mediation. We want legal services to reach out to different sectors, say, for example, sports. So we will explore the possibility of sports mediation. What Mr. Lam said in terms of arbitration is actually echoes what we have in mind. So in the GBA, apart from the promotion services, the DCS is also working alongside the CS. Outsourcing. The Department of Justice has an established mechanism to outsource cases that are criminal and civil in nature to the private sector. All the parties handle the matters in accordance with their expertise and their professionalism. There is already an established mechanism to engage practitioners in the private sector. As to whether we can establish a mechanism to use the private sector to help the Department of Justice, we will continue to explore the possibilities. We already have an established mechanism. I agree that the direction itself is very good. I thank Mr. Lam for his support for the HOD accountability system. I emphasize that head of departments is always accountable to the work of the department, but we have never institutionalized or make it systematic the handling of systems. We have to vindicate civil servants. We can do this through a just and fair investigation. So we have to handle the matter in a fair and just way. My proposal is not in response to one single incident. It's about the overall system. When there is a system, then the general public will have trust and confidence. The aim of setting up the accountability system of HOD is to dovetail the political accountability system with the executive political accountability system, is to be clearly set out. In terms of the assessment or appraisal system, I have also elaborated on the relationship between secretaries of departments, heads of departments, and civil servants. I can say very objectively that our civil service is excellent. We rank second in the world. So it's silver in a race. But of course, there will be inadequacies. Even if you are a triathlon champion, you will fall ill from time to time. When that happens, we deal with it in order to instill confidence. What I want to do is to tell the public that when there are problems, we will identify inadequacies to find the party that is to be held accountable. That is fair. We may think that this person should be held accountable, but after an investigation, it turns out that it's a different person. That's important. Another point that is often neglected is that we're talking about a positive system. We encourage HODs to improve the efficiency of the department in an ongoing manner, not just to do something when there are problems. If you've been exercising regularly, then you don't suffer from ailments. The accountability system strengthens the responsibility of HODs, although these responsibilities are always carried out by the HODs. The HODs, civil servants will have to support the HOD. The HODs can't just do everything themselves, so they rely on senior civil servants. In military lingo, it's for the generals to manage the troops and for the team leaders to manage the individuals. We have over 70 departments. We want to make sure that all policies are fully implemented. In this way, we can improve the government's efficiency. The accountability system of the HOD will have to be supported by a fair system so that those who deserve punishment will be dished out sanctions and those who deserve praises will receive them. For civil servants who has been working diligently and excellently, if they receive the same treatment as someone who shirked their responsibility, that is not fair. We will have to make sure that the parties who perform differently will receive the treatment they deserve.
Dr. Starry Lee, Chief Executive, thank you for adopting over 60 proposals of the DAB, including promoting industrial reform to promote local economy, Salo, Autotat economy, integrated Chinese and Western medicine development, new energy industry, and so on. I thank the Chief Executive for adopting our proposals. On patriotic education, expediting the development of the Northern Metropolis, especially the university town in the NM. Thank you for adopting a lot of our proposals. This will help the local economy to upgrade and transform. This will also create a lot of jobs for the people of Hong Kong, leading to a better life. AI is one of the highlights of the policy address. I go along with you. Thank you, Chief Executive. You will also set up an AI efficacy enhancement team. I expect that it will significantly reduce the application time of members of the public, as some applicants mention it takes quite a long time for them to finish the applications, and they will have to go through different departments. Will the Chief Executive set KPI or more than one KPI for this AI efficacy enhancement team? All around the world, enterprises, individuals, when they want to set up a company in Hong Kong, they may use AI to finish the application in just 1 week. Then we will be able to attract a lot of enterprises to come to Hong Kong to set up operations. We do want to grab a gold medal in this regard. Thank you, President. Chief Executive, thank you, the DAB, for giving me a lot of good proposals so that I could implement a lot of people-oriented policies. The AI efficacy enhancement team has 3 main goals. 1, to promote reforms and improve efficacy using AI in different departments. Also, AI re-engineering is also one of the important aspects. We need to move with the times. AI could be used as a catalyst or as a stimulus to help us improve. We are just in the initial stage when it comes to using AI to improve our work. As the English saying goes, sky is the limit. AI can help us change a lot of things. There is no limit. At this stage, the development speed of AI matters. I will receive a report in 3 months' time, and I'm eager to see this report. I will also lay down rules first of all. I will accord priority to services that are close to the heart of members of the public. For departments don't have as much direct contact with the public may not feel the enhancements to the services directly. Just within the government, we know. Some members of the public told me that they could see improvements and enhancements in the services. That's exactly how we can tell that our policies are spot on. When it comes to applications for licenses, the public can tell us they can see the enhancements. I won't put any restrictions on this team. I do have requirements and requests. I do require the team to submit reports to me. The first report will be submitted to me within 2 months. I have assigned a Deputy Secretary of Department to lead this team. It's all about cross-departmental coordination. It's not just about management, but it's all about steering as well. Which area should be given priority? There should be guidelines, there should be directions. The Digital Policy Office DPO, the head of the DPO will be the deputy of the team as well. I will invite someone from the industry to bring new mindset, to bring stimulus to our team. Some people have made recommendations to me. I thank these very passionate people. They do want to help Hong Kong to improve. I look forward to hearing from the public. Which areas should be given priority? I welcome views. We have more than 70 departments, and it's not just about AI, it's about technological innovation reforms as well. Say, probably we have 5 procedures. We want to streamline them and turn them into 3 or even 2 procedures. That's what we call process reengineering. And this is the duty on the AI efficacy enhancement team. We welcome feedback from the public. Thank you, Mr. Chao Siu-chung. Thank you, President. I thank the Chief Executive for adopting the proposals of the FLU, including the compensation mechanisms for digital platform workers and increasing efforts to combat illegal workers. Digital platform workers appeared in Hong Kong a few years ago. Now the policy address proposes measures to protect them. This is worth our commendation. Other measures in relation to enhanced supplementary labor importation scheme, this responds to the demand of the sector. Just waiters, waitresses, and junior cooks are covered under the scheme. There are thousands of senior cooks or cook's assistants in Hong Kong. And for these positions, there is a possibility of abuse as well. I'd like to know the foundation of the assessments. Why only these 2 jobs have no restrictions? When will other positions be covered under the scheme as well? Chief Executive. Thank you, President. Thank you, Mr. Chow. Labor issues are close to the heart of the public. So for waiters, waitresses, junior cooks, I have covered them in the enhanced supplementary labor scheme. As I mentioned, they make up for about 50% of all the imported laborers. If this practice is effective, we will be able to tell that it is indeed effective just from figures, from the real situation. We will dynamically keep an eye on the situation. We will implement measures to combat abuse. We will also pay regard to the local conditions, local situations. This is my governance philosophy. The Labor and Welfare Bureau will keep an eye on the situation. When it comes to macro issues, that's about the manpower projections and the midterm review. The midterm review has actually already started. I have requested the Labor and Welfare Bureau to target job types with a higher jobless rate. Studies should be conducted. Reports should be compiled. That's how we dynamically monitor the situation. Of course, we will accord priority to local workers. We will also combat illegal workers. We will ramp up efforts to monitor the situation in a dynamic manner. Thank you, President. Mr. Stanley Lee. Thank you, President. Good morning, Chief Executive. Geopolitical tensions are affecting us. It's not easy to draw up a policy address. I thank you for adopting our views. While the Chief Executive was delivering the policy address, I can see that the Chief Executive wants to make significant changes with just small tweaks in the policies. According to statistics, there are about 300,000 to 400,000 of carers. I thank the Labor and Welfare Bureau for maintaining a close dialogue with the sector. $500 million will be set aside every year for implementing measures for supporting carers. I thank the Chief Executive for the greater support for carers. This shows the importance the Chief Executive attaches to carers. This is indeed good news to carers. I look forward to even more good news in this regard. How can we make sure the $500 million is used to good effect? I'd like to ask the Chief Executive whether you will determine the direction of the use of the resources after hearing from carers and the sector, say setting up carer support centers across all 18 districts in Hong Kong. Thank you, Chief Executive. Thank you, Mr. Stanley Lee, for giving us your opinions, which have enriched the contents of the policy address. Providing greater support for carers matters. We are facing an aging population in Hong Kong. We look forward to hearing views in relation to the use of resources. We will never have sufficient resources. The key is to make good use of these resources in the social and welfare sector. $350 million. That is our input to the social welfare sector every day. This is significant. How can we make better resources when it comes to providing greater support to carers? I do welcome input from members. We do want to ensure the resources and the funding are used in a targeted manner. In the past, we didn't have the database for carers, but this database is very important. Elderly people, carers, we do need to provide support. When they are hospitalized, those they provide care for will become helpless. That's why this database matters. I thank 3 bureaus, namely the Health Bureau, the Labor and Welfare Bureau, and the Social and Welfare Department. I thank them for their efforts. I also thank members for giving us your views, but there is always room for improvement. How can we further enrich the database? We keep exploring ways to do so. If members have good views, good feedback, good tools, please provide them to me. Give us your views. We do want to improve the support for carers. I'm also grateful to care teams. They have played their part in providing greater care for the community. Care teams are volunteers. Some services will become even more expensive if they are provided by the government. Care teams provide services with a human touch for people in need, such as elderly people and persons with disabilities. I thank these volunteers. I welcome Mr. Stanley Lee for further views. Thank you.
多謝主席。
Mr. Lai Kwong, thank you. In terms of public housing policies, you and your team focused on resource allocation and policies to improve the living conditions of different sectors. In this policy address, we see that there is an improvement from basic protection to encourage members of the public to move upwards through the housing ladder. Currently, the approach is to repossess PRH units to improve circulation, but there is a need to encourage PRH tenants to vacate their units. Currently, the production focuses on medium-sized units, say, for example, for green form, subsidized home ownership scheme, as well as PRH units. They are medium-sized units. There is not enough incentives in place to encourage them to buy in the private sector. I thank the Chief Executive for taking on board our views. You have improved on efficiency as well as quality. You have taken another step forward. You will increase the supply of large flats in subsidized sales flat. But how much do you think is enough? Using Changsha Wan is an example. Well, with the 3-bedroom unit is very popular. And now you allow further sale of units. There will be restrictions. Will you reduce the supply of small size flats? Will you improve the infrastructure of subsidized sales flats to improve the appeal? Thank you. Housing is a key area in my policies. The goal and the priority have been elaborated. My goal is to provide a roof over the head of people in need. Of course, people would like to live in a bigger flat. In addition to that, they would like to own it. That's natural, but we have to do it step by step, taking into account the actual situation in Hong Kong. The ultimate goal is to make it better, and I believe that we are able to do that. The first hurdle is to help people who have been on the waiting time for a very long time. The composite waiting time has been reduced by 1 year. Our next goal is for waiting time to stay at 4.1 years, but that is still not enough. We would like to give people their own flats. It's not easy to reach our goal, but we have to start somewhere. We have to catch up. I thank my team for working hard. We've seen some results. There is an increase in public housing supply. In the coming 5 years, we produce 80% more PRH housing compared to the previous term of government. I thank previous governments for laying the foundation. Every term of government has been doing their best. We have put in place different measures to help those in dire straits. Everyone wants to do more. In the coming 5 years, we increase the supply of home ownership scheme units by 50%. So there is a higher chance for applicants to successfully buy a unit. I've also adjusted the ratio between white form and green form. If green form applicants successfully purchase a flat, then 2 parties will benefit. They have a home ownership scheme flat and they vacate the PRH housing. So it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. That's why we strongly support this initiative. Bigger flats is popular, but different people have different needs. We have to cater to the needs of different people in different groups. I've already set out the direction. Our goal is that for those without a place to live, they will have a place to live. For those who already have one that are renting, they will own one. And for those living in smaller flats, they will live in bigger ones. We have to do it step by step. We have achieved progress, positive progress. We're talking about an increase of housing supply by 50% We have shortened waiting time by 1 year. These are not easy tasks. We want to give people bigger flats. That's not easy, but we will work on it. We, of course, want everyone to live in a flat that they like. We will enrich the housing ladder step by step, but we have to be at the same time pragmatic. We have to send out a clear message to the public so they have a clear understanding of the situation. That's our job. Mr. Benson Look, thank you. I thank the Chief Executive for taking on board of BPA's suggestions. You have taken on board our proposal on promotion of yacht tourism in Tourism is Everywhere. You allow visiting yachts to cross the border with more freedom. I'm sure that will stimulate island hopping. You allow cross-boundary yacht traveling. You also allow mainland to train masters to obtain Hong Kong license. That will be good. We have bareboat charter that is very popular overseas. That is, they lease a yacht in Hong Kong. It's just like people who drive during their holidays. In August this year, the BPA, together with a number of yacht clubs and stakeholders, hosted a roundtable meeting. They all very welcome your proposals. They all agree that Hong Kong has the advantage to become an Asian yacht hub. The trade told me that they would be on the aggressive as well. In international seminars, conferences, they will take place. They will also participate in overseas fairs. They will promote the new policies for the government. Will you leverage the work of mainland officers, ETO, the Trade Development Council, to promote the new policy of yacht economy, so that we'll all work together to tell good stories of Hong Kong? This is a new story of Hong Kong on yacht tourism and yacht economy. Chief Executive, I have listened to many views, including those from Mr. Look on yacht economy. I think that we have an advantage. It will create enormous economic value. Is one of the factors I have taken into consideration in forging a diversified economy. Different parties have taken the initiative to do some work. I have coordinated the Invest Hong Kong, ETOs, Trade Development Council, as well as mainland offices. There is a platform. We use the platform to help enterprises to go global. A lot of enterprises would like to go to the mainland through Hong Kong or go to other markets through Hong Kong. There is a division of labor in our ETOs. Of course, the Tourism Commission has the priority task to promote tourism of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is our home. We have the duty to tell good stories of Hong Kong. I hope that everyone will do their part when it comes to that. There are enterprises that are particularly interested in yacht businesses. They have given me their views. There is actually a division of labor between yachts in Hong Kong and those on the mainland. I've been given a good analysis. Hong Kong is a showroom. This is our advantage. We are very internationalized. But when it comes to manufacturing of yachts, the mainland has an advantage because in terms of land, man, and labor. We will make good use of our internationalness. We are an international market. We will further promote that. When there are yacht races, competitions relating to yachts, we will make good use of our role as a showroom. The mainland is a huge market when it comes to yacht trade or related activities. So there is huge potential when it comes to yacht tourism. We have a complementary role with the mainland. We started this year when it comes to development of the yacht industry. We have to accelerate our pace, but there is a bottleneck. We need time to build more yacht berths. We have made a decision to build more, but we will not just sit there and wait. It's just like production of PRH units. We won't ask those who are in need to wait. That's why we allow yachts without a pre-booked berth to come to Hong Kong. We have a vast sea area. They can come to Hong Kong and stay and moor at designated areas. We also streamline the process. There is always room to do better. In the process, we want to build experience. We want to ensure safety and promote development. In terms of safety, we have an advantage because there is automatic identification system to locate yachts. If we see any yachts traveling in a route that is not safe, then they will be alerted. We want to attract high-quality clients to come to Hong Kong. Someone told me that clients from yacht tourism brings in more value in consumption. We're talking about high-end spending. And people who come to Hong Kong on yachts don't come alone. They come with a group of people. We've just established a new system. We have to wait for the system to run smoothly before we move forward. And we will listen to views. Thank you. Ms. Nixie Lam. I thank the government for taking the initiative to put in place the HOD accountability system. I think it is conducive to clarifying the division of labor of HODs and civil servants. This will make civil servants more active in carrying out their work, and this is also conducive to building an efficient team, thereby improving the government's governance. But it's not easy to implement it. The devil is in the details. When you're a head of a department, you have responsibilities. That goes without saying. I heard that you said that is a senior civil servant accountability system, but yesterday you used the term head of department accountability system. My understanding is that when it comes to senior civil servants, it's the level of permanent secretaries. But when it comes to head of departments, we're talking about directorate level 5 or 6. So will it limit the scope of investigation carried out by the Public Service Commission? What about there are other issues? How will it be dealt with? It's actually explained in the policy address that when I first floated the idea of accountability system for senior civil servants, I later decided on the accountability system of head of departments. There is an explanation. In short, you will task generals to manage the lieutenants. And if generals are doing their job well, that means the troops under him will win battles. If I am the head of the army, of course I will manage generals. The purpose of this system is that politically accountable officials, that is, principal officials, are in charge of formulating policies. So they are accountable to the chief executive. When it comes to implementation of policies, the accountability is on the departments. There are about 38,000 words in the policy address. In addition, there is the supplement. Who are in charge of executing these policies? Departments and civil servants. The goal of my policy, the goal is that, well, if I have formulated policies, I want these policies to be implemented effectively. And of course, if they are not implemented well, then I myself, as well as secretaries of departments and directors of bureaus, will be held accountable. I've been very satisfactory with the performance of secretaries of departments and directors of bureaus. That's why our civil service ranked second in the world. But from time to time, there are lapses. I have put in place this accountability system for this purpose. In addition to finding inadequacies, we encourage HODs to constantly improve the efficiency of the departments, just like regular exercising. We want HODs to put in place a good system and cultivate a good atmosphere. If you want to stay healthy, you exercise regularly. When you fall ill, you seek treatment. Well, if all 70 departments are fit, say fit for the Olympics, then people will be happy. Heads of departments have always been held accountable to their responsibilities. But we want to systematize and institutionalize their responsibilities. That's our goal. That's why I put in place an independent panel. We want to let the public know that this independent panel of investigation is always ready to carry investigations. They are impartial and fair. They will carry out investigations on most senior civil servants. They have the power to investigate into all civil servants. Accountability. The current system is that after identifying the inadequacies, we will identify the party that is to be held accountable. Then we decide on disciplinary actions. Under the new system and under the independent panel, the two systems will be combined together. That means inadequacies will be identified at the same time as a party, at the same time when the accountable party is identified. That is the additional function of the PSC. However, we have to ensure impartiality and fairness. Sometimes not everyone has all the information. We want to ensure that the investigation is carried out in a fair and impartial way. There is also one key point under the accountability system of the HOD. Ms. Lam might have missed it amidst the 38,000 words. Well, the heads of departments will have to lead the team well. That means the general will have to lead the troops well. I am the chief executive. I ask my secretary of departments and director of bureaus to perform well in their respective portfolio. If you are in charge of playing the violin, then I expect you to excel. That is a goal that I want to achieve under the system.
Mr. Kenneth Falk, thank you, President. I'm the only G19 member who can ask questions today in the interest of time. I thank the Chief Executive for adopting all of our proposals. Thank you, Chief Executive. On behalf of the sports sector, I have some questions for the Chief Executive. Athletes can take part in activities of international sports associations. These enhance our say in the arena. Thank you. I can see a lot of reforms and innovative mindset of the policy address. I'm particularly concerned about paragraph 184. That's about introducing commercial elements into the LCSD. That's about the dual-track approach when I discussed it with the Chief Executive. This will give better play to a capable government and an efficient market. I agree with this general direction. It is also mentioned that the positioning of the Hong Kong Stadium needs to be reviewed. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Only the NSA was mentioned. It could provide training. It could use the venues. I'd like to ask the Chief Executive, is it possible to use the Hong Kong Stadium to collaborate with the private market so that we can build a collaboration model with different sectors in order to help the Hong Kong Stadium together with different sectors, say the academia and the commercial sector? Chief Executive, thank you, Mr. Kenneth Falk. I thank all members. All members have given us a lot of good views. It's just a matter of priorities. Some will be adopted this year and some later on. The 2 points mentioned are interlinked regarding making better use of the positioning of the Hong Kong Stadium in order to unleash its potential. Wisdom is in the community. If there are any good views, I welcome you to provide these good views. The Secretary of the CSTB is very much concerned about this. There are people who want to use the Hong Kong Stadium, but then they cannot reserve a slot in the Hong Kong Stadium yet. It is an important issue. In 2022, in the inaugural ceremony, President Xi mentioned that we need to give better play to a capable government and an efficient market. This is a small step, but we do need to take it forward step by step. We want to have more experience as we proceed, and then we take a further step. Just now, Mr. Kenneth Falk talked about the use or the utilization of different venues, not just performing arts and venues, sports venues. These have been the bottlenecks in Hong Kong. We have been facing these issues. The Hong Kong Kai Tak Sports Park has helped us with upgrading. This proves that we need to work hard in the hardware aspect. All of us agree the importance of venues. Can we release the venues of the LCSD for public use? We very seriously considered your views. Thank you for giving us your views. After all, this is a public resource. Public resources are for public use. They serve the public. When we release them for better value or for greater value, we can make it available for the private sector or for the market. Venues of the LCSD, such as beaches, are very important resources that could be made available. In Europe, there are many beaches, for instance. If you haven't visited these beaches in Europe, don't say that you have visited Europe. We want the same for Hong Kong. There are also many campsites in Hong Kong. It's not easy to invest in these campsites. The operational modes might be conservative. We want to use market forces to make them even more attractive. This is a major breakthrough. The experience we have accumulated will help us remove different bottlenecks in different areas. We need to release venues before we have new venues. In the process, we may not be able to please all people, everyone, but we do need to embrace the spirit of reforms. We may not be able to meet the expectations of everyone. However, if we don't implement reforms, we may end up losing more. We need to implement reforms and make adjustments in the process of the reforms. That's a correct attitude. That's why we welcome feedback, we welcome views. We do need to implement reforms, because if we don't do so, then we may end up achieving nothing. This time, we probably have a score of 50. After implementing reforms, we may end up getting 70 as a result. That's exactly how we can help build a better Hong Kong. Chief Executive, please deliver a concluding speech. President, I thank members for their questions and views. I thank members for their care about the policy address. We are moving from stability to prosperity. We are at the juncture of an irreversible economic transformation. This is a step towards a better economy. I want to improve livelihood. That is my ultimate goal of governance. People's lives and the economy go hand in hand. Economic growth is the foundation for improvement in livelihood. When we improve people's lives, we can add vitality to the market. Then we can boost economic development. In the past 3 years, in many world rankings, we have seen significant improvements. Apart from one rank up in the overall global financial center overall competitiveness, and we ranked 7th among the world's top 10 safest cities. In talent competitiveness, we rose by 12 places in total, ranking 4th globally. We have achieved significant results. All these reflect the effective policies of the government. These also show the concerted efforts of the community. It also shows the grit and the capabilities of the people of Hong Kong. They show the confidence of international investors in Hong Kong. They also show that the future of Hong Kong is promising. Dividends of people's livelihood and the economy are interlinked. Developing the local economy will bring more jobs. High-quality development will also bring more jobs in Hong Kong. This will lead to an increase in income. When the economy fares better in Hong Kong, this will lead to an increase in the fiscal reserve. Then we have the foundation and the conditions to provide more public services. Some sectors will benefit faster, say trade, finance industries, and so on. Some industries will, in the end, stand to benefit as well, though not as fast. But the entire society will also bear the fruits of this success. We can see this in the median household income. In 3 years' time, it has gone up by 11%. That's why I need to emphasize we need to take a result-oriented approach. It's very important. We implement policies to remove bottlenecks. We make it faster for the public to benefit from our economic development. Deepening reforms is the responsibility of the government, but it requires the concerted efforts of society as well. We must work together. We have the principle of patriots administering Hong Kong and executive led in Hong Kong. The executive has the responsibility for leading society to further deepen reforms. I hope this policy address will be comprehensively deliberated and supported by members of the Council. Then we can together realize the vision of the policy address that is deepening reforms for our people, leveraging our strengths for a brighter future. Thank you, President. The Chief Executive's question and answer session ends. The Chief Executive now leaves the chamber. Members, stand up, please.
And now I adjourn the Council until 11 a.m. on Wednesday, 24th of September 2025.